In terms of software, the Nokia Lumia 710 is basically your typical Windows phone, and that's the highlight of the Windows Phone experience. Unlike Android, where some phones are slower, some are faster, and you have a totally different experience, everything's very consistent on Windows Phone, and everything's always smooth and works perfectly. However, there are some unique things about a Nokia Windows Phone compared to others, because each manufacturer can actually load their own apps on the phones, and they can have their own app store, like Nokia has their Nokia collection here. And you'll have some select apps like ESPN, Univision, and then also Nokia's Drive and Nokia Maps for GPS navigation, so you do get some extras there. And Nokia is supposed to be coming out with some more exclusive apps, and they won't be hitting other Windows phones till a few months later, so you are getting some exclusive content with Nokia. And we already demoed Nokia Drive, which is the GPS navigation system, and it works really well. The instructions are really clear, it's very accurate. However, it is missing out on some things, and it's not going to replace a standalone GPS unit just yet. But Nokia seems committed to updating it, and it should get just better over time. It's definitely not going to get worse. You also have Nokia Maps, which can be a little more accurate than Bing Maps, honestly. So that's a nice addition. And then you have their App Highlights app, which helps you find some new applications in the Windows Phone marketplace. Because face it, every single marketplace is filled with junk, and it's pretty tough to sift through all the junk. So their App Highlights highlights all the good apps that you should download, has a little starter kit of all the usuals like Twitter, Facebook, eBay, Weather Channel, and it has different categories like music categories there and a working category, and it even has my homework planner up there, so I really like that. And otherwise, that's basically all the exclusive apps you're going to get with Nokia right now. They do have a contacts transfer app that works by sending your old contacts from your old phone through Bluetooth, so kind of useful, I guess. And then they also have network setup, which HTC has. So one thing HTC always has that other phones don't is a flashlight app. But that's no longer important because a developer released a free flashlight app on the marketplace that works perfectly and it shines steadily unlike other flashlight apps. So it's no longer a problem. Just download this app in the marketplace and you have a perfectly functioning flashlight with your LED. So that's taken care of. And otherwise, HTC doesn't have many other exclusive apps that are worth buying an HTC over a Nokia phone. So Nokia definitely has an edge there. However, Nokia is missing some things in the camera. HTC has some panoramic shot options and burst mode shots, and Nokia is missing those. But Nokia does have a few extra settings in their camera, so you can fine-tune things a little better. And the camera simply is better than the HTC's camera, so personally I'd rather have a good camera over the ability to take panoramic shots. In terms of battery life, the Nokia Lumia 710 is okay, and it lasts a pretty good time. I'd say it easily lasts you through a day, but you should still charge it every single night, just like any typical smartphone. But surprisingly, in our battery tests, the Nokia Lumia lost to the HTC Radar. To test the battery life of the Nokia Lumia compared to the HTC Radar, we did a few little battery tests. And the first one we did, we played music on a little shuffle playlist for 2 hours, and the headphone volume was on 15 out of 30, and the screen was turned off with the phone in airplane mode. On the Radar, after 2 hours we checked the battery life and it only drained to 99%. So that's pretty impressive. So if we set that up, that would mean that the Radar would get 200 hours of battery life playing through its entire battery, which would be 12,000 minutes. So if we compare those minutes to the battery size of the HTC Radar, since it is bigger than the Lumia, we get 7.89 minutes per mAh of battery. So that's pretty good. And with the Lumia, it unfortunately drained to 93% after 2 hours of playing music, which is a lot less than the HTC Radar, and it kind of surprised me personally. So that's a 7% drain in battery. So overall, according to that, the Lumia would only be able to play music for 28.5 hours, or 1,700 minutes. So that's definitely not as good, and when you set up the ratio with the battery, you only get 1.32 minutes per mAh of battery. So it's a lot worse there, and I'm really not sure why that is. Our tests, of course, aren't very scientific, so just take it with a grain of salt, but the radar did handle a lot better, and the video test also supports that. For the video test, we played the exact same movie on both phones, and the phones were, of course, charged to 100%. Screen brightness was set to medium, and it was set to not automatically adjust, it was simply set to medium. And headphones were connected and set to max volume, so it's all equal. And on the radar, it only drained to 90% after 1 hour. We only played the video for 1 hour. So that'd give you 10 hours of battery life with a 1520 mAh battery. And on the Lumia, it fared quite worse. It went down to 75%, which is a big drop. And that supports the music samples battery life and shows that the Lumia doesn't really handle playing music or video as well as the HTC radar. So anyways, that'd mean you'd get 4 hours of battery life on your Lumia's battery, but if the Lumia had the same battery as the HTC radar, you'd get 4.68 hours of battery life. So 10 hours versus 4 hours, 4.5. Surprisingly, the HTC radar does a lot better job than the Nokia Lumia with battery life. Despite those statistics showing bad battery life for the Nokia Lumia, in my real-world experience, the Lumia's battery was almost as good as the HTC radar's, which is pretty good considering that it's a smaller battery. So battery life is good, and I really wouldn't worry about that. Our tests aren't that scientific. We only ran that test once for each phone, so there's definitely a lot of margin of error, but I'd still say the HTC does handle battery life better. Anyways, the software on the Nokia Lumia is really great, and overall, it's your typical Windows phone, works great, has some exclusive apps, but it is missing internet sharing in the settings. I don't know if that's T-Mobile or Nokia that took it out, but hopefully sometime in an update we'll actually get internet sharing on the Lumia 710. Otherwise, it's a great phone and it runs great, and it's running Windows Phone 7.5 Mango, which is a great operating system comparable to the iPhone and a lot easier to use than Android. Android's more the techie, geeky style, and yeah, it's pretty fun. You can do a lot of things with Android. You can customize the heck out of it. But if you're looking to just get a phone that works and always works and you don't have to reboot it and you can simply use it for what you want to do without doing any really advanced stuff, Windows Phone is definitely the phone for you. So that wraps up our review on the Nokia Lumia 710, and overall it's a pretty good Windows phone. It's definitely a cheaper one. It is lacking a front-facing camera, only has 8 gigabytes of storage space, but it only costs $50 on contract, or even less. It's really free basically if you go to any other stores. You'll get it for free, and you can get it on T-Mobile, and it has T-Mobile's 4G service. So it's a really good phone for that price, and really comparable to the HTC radar. I'd say they're both pretty equal. The radar feels a little bit better in your hand since it's an aluminum body, but both phones are pretty equal, and really you just have to go to the store, play with both of them, and decide which one you like. You'll be happy either way.